Hello, and please listen to this. What if I told you the entire map of Southeast Asia was redrawn by a bunch of rice farmers wearing pointy hats? But millions of people just wandered south one day and decided to stay. That Thailand, Laos, and half of Myanmar exist because of what might be history's most casual conquest. Well, get yourself comfortable because today we are diving into the extraordinary tale of the Thai people, spelt T-A-I. And trust me, it is far more dramatic than your average episode of EastEnders. Now, before you start rolling your eyes and muttering about another boring history lesson, let me tell you something. This is not your typical dusty textbook story. This is a tale of how an entire civilization picked up sticks and moved house, except their house was half of Southeast Asia, and the move took about 8 centuries to complete. Bloody hell, and I thought my last relocation was complicated. Picture this. It is roughly the 8th century CE, and you are living in what is now called Guangxi and Yunnan provinces in southern China. Beautiful place, really. Rolling hills, fertile valleys, perfect for rice growing. The Thai people had been living there quite comfortably, thank you very much, developing their languages, cultures and ways of life. They were not exactly what you would call empire builders, more like practical folks who preferred a good harvest to a good war. Nevertheless, here is where things get interesting, and by interesting I mean absolutely bonkers. The Chinese dynasties, bless their ambitious little hearts, had this rather inconvenient habit of expanding southward. Moreover, when I say expanded, I do not mean they were simply dropping by for tea and biscuits. They were conquering, taxing and generally making life quite unpleasant for anyone who did not wish to become Chinese subjects. Now, the Thai people faced a choice. Stick around and deal with Chinese bureaucracy, and let us face it, nobody wants that. Or do what any sensible person would do, pack up and find somewhere else to live. Spoiler alert, they chose door number 2. Hold on a minute, I can practically hear you thinking, but surely it was not that simple. Furthermore, you would be right to think that, because what happened next makes Brexit negotiations look like a Sunday picnic. The Tai Migration was not some massive exodus with everyone marching in formation like something out of a Hollywood epic. Oh no, that would have been far too organised. Instead, it was more like a very, very slow motion flood. Groups of Thai people began moving south in waves, starting around the 8th century and continuing well into the 16th century. That is 800 years of people essentially saying, right, I am off, and meaning it. The first wave headed into what we now call northern Vietnam and Laos. These pioneering souls, and I use that term loosely because they were probably just following the rice paddies, established settlements in the fertile river valleys. They brought with them their languages, their Buddhist beliefs, though many were still practicing their traditional animistic religions, and most importantly, their knowledge of wet rice agriculture. Now, here is where it gets properly fascinating. The Thai people were not conquerors in the traditional sense. They were not showing up with armies and demanding tribute. Instead, they were more like, imagine if a group of highly skilled farmers moved into your neighbourhood, significantly improved property values, and then gradually became the local council. This is essentially what happened across mainland Southeast Asia. By the 11th and 12th centuries, more Thai groups were pushing further south and west. Some settled in the fertile plains of what would become Thailand, while others ventured into the Shan states of Myanmar. They established principalities, small kingdoms that were remarkably sophisticated for what started as agricultural settlements. The twist here, and this is where it gets mental, is that these Thai people did not just replace the existing populations. They integrated with them. The Mon people, the Khmer, various hill tribes. Rather than wiping them out or pushing them aside, the Thai absorbed their cultures, married into their families, and created something entirely new. It is like watching the world's most successful cultural fusion experiment unfold over centuries. Take the Thai Kingdom, for instance. By the 13th century, the Thai people had established the Sukhothai Kingdom in what is now central Thailand. King Lan Xang, and honestly, you try saying that after a few pints, is credited with creating the Thai alphabet. Nevertheless, here is another kicker. He did not just invent it out of thin air. He adapted it from the Khmer script, which was itself derived from ancient Indian writing systems. It is cultural layering at its finest. The Lao people followed a similar pattern into the Mekong River Valley. They established Lan Xang, the kingdom of 1,000,000 elephants, which sounds brilliant until you realise it probably did not have 1,000,000 elephants. That would have been a logistical nightmare, would it not? Imagine the clean-up alone. Meanwhile, the Shan people were busy establishing their kingdoms in what is now Myanmar. Unlike their Thai and Lao counterparts, the Shan had to contend with somewhat more aggressive neighbouring states, including the Burmese kingdoms to the south. This led to a rather complicated political situation that, frankly, makes Game of Thrones look like a documentary about village fate planning. What is remarkable about this entire migration is how it transformed the political landscape of Southeast Asia. The Thai people introduced new forms of governance, new agricultural techniques, and new religious practices. They built cities, established trade routes, and created some of the most beautiful temple complexes you will ever see. Angkor Wat might get all the attention, but the Thai kingdoms produced architectural marvels that are criminally underappreciated. The cultural impact was equally profound. The Thai languages, Thai, Lao, Shan, and dozens of others became dominant across the region. Thai cuisine, with all its perfect balance of sweet, sour, salty, and spicy flavours, is essentially a delicious testament to this cultural blending. However, perhaps more importantly, the Thai peoples brought with them a particular approach to Buddhism that would shape the spiritual landscape of Southeast Asia for centuries. The Theravada Buddhism, which is with its emphasis on individual enlightenment and community monasteries, became the dominant religion across much of the region. These magnificent golden temples you see throughout Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar. That is the architectural legacy of the Thai migration. The political implications were equally significant. The Thai kingdoms developed sophisticated systems of governments that balanced central authority with local autonomy. They created legal codes, established universities, and developed diplomatic relations with neighbouring kingdoms. By the time European colonizers arrived in the 19th century, they found not primitive tribal societies, but complex, well-organised kingdoms with centuries of political experience. Now, here is where things get a bit grim, as they tend to do when Europeans get involved. The colonial period was particularly brutal for the Thai peoples. The British, French and other colonial powers carved up the region with all the subtlety of a bulldozer in a china shop. Ancient kingdoms divided, traditional government systems dismantled, and borders were drawn up with remarkable disregard for ethnic and cultural boundaries. Nevertheless, here is a thing that fascinates me about the Thai people: they endured. Despite centuries of colonial domination, despite wars and political upheavals, despite the best efforts of various powers to erase their cultural identity, the Thai people maintain their languages, their traditions, and their distinct ways of life. Today, over 80 million people across Southeast Asia identify as Thai. They have given the world some of its most vibrant cultures, most delicious cuisines, and most beautiful art. They have survived empires, colonialism, modernisation, while maintaining their essential character. So, there you have it, the story of how a group of rice farmers from southern China accidentally created some of the most fascinating civilisations in Southeast Asia. It is a tale of adaptation, integration, and remarkable resilience. The Thai people did not conquer through force, they conquered through culture, one rice paddy at a time. Besides, if that is not worth raising a glass to, I do not know what is. Though, knowing my luck, it will probably be a glass of Thai whiskey, which is another cultural contribution. I am not entirely sure we need it, but there you go. If you have enjoyed this little journey through Southeast Asian history, do me a favour and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want more stories about the fascinating people who shaped Southeast Asia. And let me know in the comments which migration story you would like to hear about next. Trust me, there are many more where this came from. Take care and goodbye.